Hi, I'm Gina, and I just wanted to share some of my story. It started when I was 14. My father had just been released out of prison 2 years prior to that, and he decided that he wanted custody of us. And my mom had just barely completed the divorce with him and didn't pretty much want nothing to do with him. He wasn't a great influence in our life. He most of the time did drugs. We were witness to that a few occasions. He used to beat my mom. He was pretty abusive with us, so it was always surprising to me why we never ended up in foster care prior to me being a teenager. What had happened was my mother had met another gentleman really quickly, got married. He moved in, and he kind of took over my household. I say my household because I would stay and take care of my brothers and sisters since my mom was a single mother for a while. My older sister kind of left and moved in with my grandmother. So a lot of, everything was put on my shoulders. When my mother's husband moved in, we started clashing a lot, and I had met a gentleman one day and was starting to hang out with him since my mother was able to care for my brothers and sisters, and my mother role was no longer needed. It became to be an issue for my mom and her husband, and my mother decided to kick me out. I moved in with my son's father. Well, he was going to be my future son's father. I was raped when my mom had left the first time she met her husband and went out of town to meet his side of the family. She had left us home alone. And I had an older boyfriend at that time, and he had raped me while my mom was gone. So that kind of, the virginity aspect was apparently out of the question when I had moved in with my boyfriend. My dad and my older sister came along one day and found my 3 younger brothers and sisters home alone. So he had called the police, and that's when our case had started. I was considered a runaway, so was my sister. So we kind of weren't introduced into care until after my brothers and sisters moved in with my dad. I don't really know what was going on then. I wasn't involved. I just remember my dad coming to my boyfriend's house and picking me up saying, well, you're not allowed to stay here no more. You're gonna come live with me with Grandma. And I was 14 then. At that time, I was becoming very sleepy, exhausted. I had little energy. So I went to go get a physical, and that's when I found out that I was pregnant. I had my son shortly after I turned 15. We were still in the court system. My parents were going to court. We never went with them at that point to court. So we really didn't know what was going on. Everything was really hard for me to take in, given that I never wanted to become a young mother. I wanted to get through high school, graduate, go to college, go to law school, become a successful lawyer, and be the most successful wanted female lawyer in the state of Colorado. I mean, that was my goal, to eventually find a significant other and get married and have a house and then have children. Do it the right way so that I can provide for my children. And it never worked out that way. What would be my prescription? My sweet ending to this situation where children are not involved. I have thought about it a lot. And I think to be involved, to be there. I hear that judges and magistrates don't want children to attend court because of the harsh things that one parent has to say about another, and the things that one parent does that another parent doesn't. We already know that. We lived it. We lived with them. There's no secret in the courtroom that's going to be brought up that we don't know about. At a certain age, and I don't know at what time in life, where children find out about foster care and the system. Before we even get into care, these children already have a certain feeling about foster care, that it's not something that's good, something that's awful. It's not fun, it's scary, it's harsh. We already have this certain, what's the word I'm looking for? Perception So if somebody stopped and said, hey, look, this is what's going to happen to you, and not in like detail, like we're going to go through court. The court we have to have several hearings. The judge is going to probably order this, and that for your case. This is what the lawyer does. This is what your GAL does. If somebody shared that with us, and we were there at every court date, and if it was something that we could not hear, that the judge really absolutely didn't think that we needed to hear, then we can leave, but we were still here. We were at the courthouse. We felt like it was important for us to be here. We felt important to be here. I think that is my prescription for the system that I went through, of not being involved, not knowing.